Hey, welcome, guys. It's time for Bollox Talks and Tangents. We're about to get started. We're talking about, and Lenny's over there trying to figure out how to share a show again.
Still.
But we're talking about postal service. We're talking about different stamps, timeline of those things, different delivery services. We got a lot of content here, Lenny. Even though you brought props,
I did.
and you have less written down than you normally do.
I know.
So I'm a little concerned. Even though you still haven't found the show,
I thought I just had
look at the hat I have on, Lenny. Look at the hat I have on.
Well, I was looking for the shirt. Yeah, I know.
Okay. So that's how you can find the show. But I appreciate you guys joining us. If you would, please share the show. If you like the show, definitely share it. If you don't like the show, share it to your enemies. Maybe you can torture them with the show too. But first thing we got to do, we got to talk about our amazing sponsors. Lenny, what are you doing over there? You're killing me, Smalls.
I'm trying to find us.
All right.
We don't exist.
So, and I'm going to start us off with St. Augustine Distillery. Today we are drinking the Saint. We have officially killed the Saint. Lenny,
I'm back.
it's a beautiful bottle.
It is.
It's an even better bourbon, and it has the ice plant on the back of the bottle. It's one of my favorite bottles that they have over there.
And it's heavy, too. Got a
It
nice crown cork to it.
Yes,
Beautiful. Cheers.
It's beautiful, and it's good because you can fit quarters down in this one.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So it makes for a great piggy bank. So it has...
And you can drop it and not going to break.
Yeah, no, it'll break your foot.
Well, that's true.
But just a wonderful bourbon over there at St. Augustine Distillery. They do an amazing job on their tours. If you haven't been there, get over there and do one of those tours. Also, their sister company, the Citygate Spirits. We did the moonshine a couple weeks ago.
Delicious. Great flavors. That was really good.
Excellent moonshine.
Yeah.
They just do an amazing job with their tasting tours and everything, and they're good people.
Right. They're very nice.
Speaking of good people, Meehan's Irish Pub.
Nobody better.
Oh, it's just good people.
Nobody better.
Staff is wonderful. The food's great. Blake says it's the second best mac and cheese behind his.
Ooh.
So
challenge accepted, young Blake.
And I can tell you, I love the chicken curry over there.
Right.
The shepherd's pie is amazing. The wings that they have are great. It's hard to find anything I don't like on that menu.
It's just too good.
Because shepherd pie had peas in it, and I don't even like peas, and I love that.
You don't spit them in something?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I go ahead and I man up.
You put them in mashed potatoes. You don't know they're there.
Yeah, that's what I say. I man up and just kind of crush them together.
Yeah.
So, but just wonderful food, wonderful people. 3 bars in one. Meehan's Irish Pub.
I was there about 10 days ago and got 5 key lime pies to go.
Really?
So good.
Wow.
So good. It is a great interpretation of a key lime pie.
Okay.
So wonderful. I recommend it. If you like key lime pie, get thee to Meehan's.
Yeah. I would not have thought an Irish pub for key lime pie.
Nor I, but they're wonderful.
Yeah, I guess they have a Key West flair to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, these guys, we talk about how amazing our sponsors are, but these guys are the most important sponsors to me in the next couple weeks.
Right.
Abear Kresge and Associates, they're the tax guys. If you're doing your own taxes, you're making a mistake, you're losing money. Get a hold of these guys. Let them take care of you. They know where the money's at. They know how you can keep your money legally and not get in trouble with the IRS.
I just mailed my documents to my accountant in New York today and got chided for going, it's going to be here on the 8th, and that's not a lot of time. I said, I'm not worried. Mm-hmm. Said, I'll just move money in case I have to pay.
Yeah, in case you got to pay.
Yep.
So I've already filed my extension. So you'll get my money in October.
Problem is I always forget. I file the extension, then I forget that I have to do it then.
I don't know what Blake's saying.
Am I good?
Oh, no, you got to pay your own.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a couple of W-2s from a couple of jobs yourself, young Blake.
You got to pay your own. So, matter of fact, I got to get a hold of Pop and Granny too, because Kresge Aber does my parents.
Your parents as well.
Parents also. Okay. All right. St. Augustine Pirate Museum. Just a wonderful museum. They have over 800 original artifacts. Mm-hmm. They also do the Colonial Oak, which has been on fire over there.
A lot of good music lately.
They've been just
good fundraisers,
crushing it with good music,
good benefits
good
fundraisers.
For sure. But go by and check them out. They're amazing. All right, this guy Blake, you just were there yesterday. Understand the guy behind the counter was a little short with you.
Yeah.
I'm a little short with everyone. Don't be silly.
Kaiser's Deli and Market. What'd you get? You get the White Street?
Yes, I did get the White Street,
Crest.
but unfortunately, the guy working the POS system took forever, one button at a time.
Well,
White Street, chips.
I spelled
Make
it.
it a combo.
One button for combo. Don't you worry, young
He's a
Blake.
hell of a chef, but not much of a cashier.
That's it. Nope. Not my job.
Yeah.
Took forever to punch my card as well.
Yeah, but I punch it.
Twice. Because of the time.
And friends and family.
No, but
no
I'm
less.
telling you right now, it is amazing, great food. Kurt's so proud of you where you're at and the time you put in and, the risk that you've taken. And hopefully some of that reward's starting to come back.
Yeah, his family. I know that there's a wedding on Sabarge tonight, and he did a huge charcuterie board for the wedding. Huge charcuterie board for the wedding.
I wish I was invited to the wedding just for the charcuterie.
Yeah, I spent half of it yesterday just slicing cold cuts. So
Is that
they're
how you
ready
say
to go. Charcuterie.
Charcuterie?
Yeah.
Charcuterie?
Yeah, charcuterie.
Charcuterie?
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Unless you want to go at cucuterie.
Charcuterie.
There are people who call it cucuterie board.
Got it.
Yes.
No, charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Char what?
Charcuterie.
Okay. All right. If you
Like
say
your-
so,
like your
Worcestershire.
cooterie. It's exactly Worcestershire.
Do you say Worcestershire?
Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Okay. All right. All right. These guys, I can tell you right now, if you have any real estate needs.
Oh, they're good, I hear.
Yeah.
I hear they're good.
Coquina Coast Realty. I don't know if you know these guys, but I'm
I
telling
do.
you right now,
I'm familiar with them.
they'll pick up the phone.
That's a good thing.
904-669-7901. They're better at texting. No, not really.
No.
904.
No. Texts take a long time to get returned.
904-669-7901. If you have commercial needs, if you have residential needs, if you just want to talk about real estate and like you're bored at home, give me a call. Because I'm probably bored too because I have only 17 jobs. All right. All right. Our new sponsor, exciting stuff. New sponsor.
Yeah, baby.
Woo! Anastasia Miniature Golf. Now we try and use sponsors that we're going to use.
Oh, yeah.
And who doesn't love a good miniature golf game?
Only problem is my wife is so damn good at it, I never beat her.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the story of your life. You over punted your coverage.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you over punted your coverage. So
I'm out of my weight class with that woman.
yeah, no, yeah,
And I can pick her up with one hand, no less.
yeah. But we're so excited to have them, and right across the street's Kaiser, so we can get a charcuterie, we can go play some miniature golf,
Yep.
and we're set for the night.
Oh, yeah.
And they have beer and wine at Anastasia Miniature Golf.
Ooh, that's nice to know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that.
And Kaiser's Breakfast is catching on, too.
Yeah, are they good?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
It's good
Jay's
sandwich.
doing a great job. And she's, knocking it out of the park. Good for her.
Yeah. So we should have a Bollox Anastasia Miniature Golf Tournament.
Ooh, I'm liking that.
Yeah.
I'm
I
liking
think
that.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to do
I'm on Julie's team.
yeah.
I know a ringer when I marry her.
Yeah. No, I can tell you this. Rebecca's extremely, extremely competitive.
Yeah, I noticed.
But I think I might be the most competitive person I know.
Really?
Blake, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I don't like to lose.
I don't like to be proven wrong. I don't mind losing. There's a distinction there.
I can't help but be proven wrong because I'm proven wrong a lot.
Yeah, and I'm.
But I'm not
as much.
afraid. I'm not afraid to be proven wrong.
Okay.
So that's kind of one of the endearing parts of me. I believe.
You know how many hills I've died on that I shouldn't have?
Oh, so many, so many.
Oh my goodness.
I've laid beside your corpse. So, all right, we got a great show. Just want to get you guys started. We're going to do one word origin each or phrase each.
Sure.
And I'm going to let you go first.
Well, because of the theme this evening, I decided that my word origin will be the word origin of snail mail, which has come into the common lexicon now. People know exactly what it is. It's using the United States Post Office and putting something in a mailbox or bringing it to the post office, putting a missive in an envelope and sending it off to a friend or loved one. So like a birthday card as opposed to a text or an email, which has replaced a lot of paper mail. But the word came about in 1982 is when it first hit the lexicon.
So
1982.
before email.
I think it was right around there. When did email start?
Yeah, I think it was in the 90s.
Huh.
So
Interesting. Because I thought it would be a direct relationship to that because email was fast.
Well, it had
or
to be. It had to be
faxes.
after Al Gore.
Yeah. Invented the world and the internet.
So the first electronic mail ever was in 1971.
Got it.
But
Okay.
let's see.
But common
When
usage.
did it
Right.
become common use?
Right.
I mean, I'm thinking AOL.
1971 when two people had computers and they were the only ones who could email each other.
No, it was like IBM to the other IBM
Yep,
tech.
yep.
So it's like, Watson, come here, I need you. Yeah,
And he was in the next room.
It's a phone
Right.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Blake, while Blake's looking that up, so it was 71 was the first email, but it came into being in 82.
82, the term was coined, and it basically meant a slower mail than an email, and and the definitions are contrasting it with emails and electronic mail, and it's in the lexicon. I know people talk about it all the time. Snail mail.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, you remember when we had dial-up, so you could.
Oh yeah.
You could either be on the computer or be on the phone. You couldn't do both.
Right.
And it took longer to get on the internet than it did whatever you needed to say on the internet.
Yep.
So,
And right. Show of hands, who misses that noise?
yeah, no one.
See,
Absolutely.
CompuServe came out in 1978 with electronic mail. In 81, they renamed it to email.
Okay, so 81. So it's about snail mail and email came out about the same time.
Okay.
But I mean, when was like AOL? Because I mean, I just with me, AOL was kind of my first thing.
Yeah, I never had that stuff I got a computer because it was easier to type on a computer like a word processor, and that's what I use my computer for. Mm-hmm. I'm still, obviously, as you all know, not overly computer literate.
What?
Yeah, it's surprising.
I heard about your great
surprising.
service at the POS system.
Well, that was better than he believes. Trust me.
Okay, all right.
That friends and family can be eradicated just as easily. Just saying.
Yeah, but if you're not friends and family, who can pick on you?
It's hard, right? First of all, and second of all, a lot of our customers, fortunately, are friends and family because there's a lot of repeat business at Kaiser's, and it's justifiably so. Got a little confusing though because he had some literally family in on Wednesday when I was there, and his wife's cousin looked at me and said, "You look an awful lot like Kurt." I said, yeah, he's my stunt double. I'm his stunt double. Nobody knows where we are at any point in time.
Yeah, no. So. And I love this because I forgot completely about this, but Heather just brought it up. Remember when you waited till 9 o'clock so it was free?
Yeah.
So you didn't have to pay for like
long distance? Yeah.
Like you don't remember that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
That did not exist in your email world. So.
But real quick, so it's a little blur, but you got mail. That was recorded in 1989.
In 89.
Yeah.
So.
That was what? That was AOL, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then a movie with Tom Hanks and
the girl
Melanie
with
Griffin?
the girl with the drinking problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Melanie Griffin.
Yeah.
So, and she's married to some other celebrity right now.
Meg Ryan.
Oh, that's Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan.
Okay. Yeah, Melanie Griffin, I think, was married to Antonio Banderas for a brief period in time.
Okay.
I think.
Yep. Melanie Griffin married in 1996, divorced in 2015.
To
Yes.
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of people tell me I look nothing like him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, because I'm handsome.
Well, it's the accent. That's what
Yeah.
confuses
Yeah.
him. You don't have the accent of
My accent's way
Puss
sexier.
in Boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My accent's way sexier.
Yeah.
Yeah. The land accent's always like a go-to.
Yeah. But Melanie Griffin has been married 4 times to 3 different people. Twice to Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Don Johnson. That's
Sure.
Dakota.
That's Dakota's
Yep.
mom.
Yep.
Dakota's mom.
And
That's
then,
right.
and then once to Stephen Bauer, and then Antonio
another
Banderas.
actor. Stephen Bauer played a lot of bad guys.
Stephen Bauer.
He was an actor. Played a lot of bad guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look up bad guys. You'll see Stephen Bauer.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All
Bad
right.
guys.
My word origin.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't just go through this and just say, hey, I'm going to rubber stamp this. But my word origin is rubber stamp. So I was like, okay, I want to find out where the term rubber stamp comes from. And it basically means, I'm just going to approve it.
There it is,
I'm just
right.
going to okay it.
Right.
All right. And in about 1881, the government started using stamps for approval of different things. And it was so easy to get stuff approved, you just rubber stamp it. So it became a very bureaucratic situation. Like if you wanted to move something through city government, you as a mayor, you understand, you rubber stamp things, but not you.
No.
Not you.
Have you met me? I question
bad-
I question everything.
The bad mayors
Right.
would rubber stamp things. And that's when it became a term of just let it slide. It's the way government works, and rubber stamp. And sometimes I want things to be rubber stamped, like my building permits.
Right.
Let's get those done.
Exactly.
But I can tell you it goes all the way back to 1881 when the government first
Civil
started
War,
using this. And it was during Reconstruction. Government first started using this term and started using rubber stamps. And it wasn't until the early 1900s when it became a term where it was very derogatory in the legal system. I'm not just going to rubber stamp this. I'm going to see it through.
Right.
And so, but the term goes back to 1881, which is an interesting year because if you say it forward and backward, it's the same.
Ooh. And nowadays, I defy anybody to try to find an ink pad for a rubber stamp. But you go to some businesses and receiving and shipping offices. As a matter of fact, you'll look and they'll see the whole rack of rubber stamps, each with a different designation.
Yeah. Received, approved. Yeah.
And then you got the little wacky one where you
Denied.
can change the dial to change the date on it.
Yeah.
And you got the little roller.
The received date. Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to talk about
Cool, baby.
We're going to talk about Postal Service. We're going to talk about you brought in props.
I brought in first day covers.
First day covers. I didn't know what a first day cover was until today. So this is my first day cover I've seen. Okay. And explain to us what a first day cover is. And you probably brought in 20 of them.
Yeah, some of them double sided. And I've got 2 books at home that are in like binders type of thing. Wow. Yeah. Well, it was my mother was my mother and I did stamp collecting
together.
together.
Face, I knew you were a nerd.
Yeah. Well, I thank my mother for that.
I had no idea you were this big of a nerd.
My mother encouraged my curiosity and interest in everything. There was nothing that my mother wasn't curious about.
And that's a sign of brilliance, by the way. Being curious is a sign of brilliance. So I'm sorry I didn't get to meet your mom meet the brilliant.
I am too. You would have loved the woman.
To meet the brilliant side of you.
She was great. Well, I got news for you. My father
Did you get dropped as a baby? Tell the truth.
No.
Okay, all right.
And my father, who was less curious but equally as brilliant. The partnership between the two of them was magnificent.
Yeah.
It really was. Look, I haven't even said it in a while, but I continue to reinforce the fact that I am so fortunate for who my parents were, how they raised me, what they taught me, what they provided for me, and the lessons they gave me. A bunch of them stuck, not all of them.
Yeah.
But most of them.
Yeah, but and it sounds like you and I were raised in completely different families. Yeah. I remember dating a girl in college, and I challenged her to go to my house and find something besides the TV guide that had more than 30 words on it. Your house, I'm sure, was filled.
Well, both my parents were educators. They were both teachers.
They were both teachers, filled with books and
Sure.
and when she got there, she was just like, "You got to be kidding me! There's no books in this house.
Wow.
There were no books in my house.
Not even one with pictures?
Not even ones with pictures that I saw.
Okay.
Besides the ones I bought and purchased.
Right. Those were the ones that were under your mattress.
Under my mattress.
Right. Those are the ones under your mattress.
Yeah. That we didn't talk about.
No.
But I got it for the articles, obviously. But no. So we were raised in completely different.
Yeah.
But I got great life skills.
Sure.
Blake was raised in a more educational based.
Conventional, right? Okay.
I wouldn't say it's conventional.
No, it was not conventional.
Yeah.
But look at you now.
We have an Asperger's and an autistic siblings. We have a redneck from the land and a Puerto Rican gypsy mom.
Yeah, right.
That, and
Who's the scariest of them all?
I don't think she
love
would
you,
be
Rebecca.
insulted,
I really, really do.
No, not Rebecca.
No. We're talking
Gina.
about my mom.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Gina, his mom.
Actually, she scares me more.
Yeah.
Rebecca doesn't scare me as much as your mom can be scary at times.
But she,
No offense, Gina.
Extremely educated. Mm-hmm. So he was raised in a different. So we got 3 different generations of learning, and all of us still end up okay.
Yeah. I think I'll give you better than okay.
Yeah. I
better
mean,
than okay.
that's why there's a lot of different ways. What is it? What's the saying? More ways to skin a cat. More than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have to use that one next week.
Same way with raising a child.
Yeah.
You can't really break us. We're all going to get there who we're going to be in the end.
Right. And to this day, nobody's come out, Dr. Spock notwithstanding, nobody's come up with the right, with the definitive way to do it. It's a feel as you go. And I'm speaking as a person with no children, but very childlike. You feel as you go.
Yeah.
You got to trust your judgment. And,
well, each child's different too. I mean, Blake and his brother are completely different. Rebecca and I have Maeve now. It was a completely different personality. But I mean, it's it's a unique experience and a learning experience, and you learn as you go being a parent too.
Right.
So but it's the most beautiful learning point of your life. So, a lot of people don't understand it. They see it as torture sometimes, but it is my best teachers have been my boys. So
Good.
So that's to me what parenting is. If your kids are your best teachers, then you did a pretty good job as a parent.
And if you can be friends with your children, I mean,
Screw that. No.
Sorry, Blake, I tried.
Yeah. He just called me number one though.
Oh, with a bullet, right?
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
Good job.
With his longest finger. That's weird.
Well, he wanted to make sure that it stood out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So it's time to get into your.
All right. So
what are these called again?
These are first day covers of commemorative stamps.
All right. I'm going to grab one.
Okay.
All right.
Pick a good one.
All right. I got this one right here.
Okay.
So it is 100 years of progress by the women of America.
Okay.
All right. 1948. All right. And it has Elizabeth Cady Stanton. And the stamp on it shows three women. It looks like.
I think Susan B. Anthony.
I don't think she's on here.
No?
No, I'm going to let your eyes might be a little better than me. It shows Stanton, Mott, and I'm going to let you read it.
Okay.
See, right-hand corner.
Well,
But it's not Susan B. Anthony. I thought it was going to be Susan B. Anthony, but it is not.
It's Lucretia Mott, Carrie Catt, and Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
Yeah. No Susan B. Anthony.
Nope. And this was issued in Seneca Falls,
Falls.
which is where the Women's History Museum is, I believe. There's a Women's History Museum in Seneca Falls, upstate New York. But that's where women's suffrage was promulgated. I guess that was where Elizabeth Cady Stanton was from, possibly. So they tried commemorative stamps. Stamps came out in 1847. The post office started creating postage stamps in 1847. The first commemorative stamps were issued in 1893.
1847.
1847 for stamps.
Okay.
Commemorative stamps, as opposed to just regular postage stamps, came out in 1893, and they have been run amok since then.
All right. So and I don't know if you know the answer, and we probably should have show prepped this. Do you remember what the first commemorative stamp was in 1893?
I have no idea.
Blake, can you possibly look that up for us?
It should be easy to find.
While we're doing that, the very first commemorative stamp in 1893.
I wonder if it's the upside down Jenny was early too.
That was just a screw up.
Right, but it was also a commemorative stamp.
Could have been a Jenny because Jenny they didn't have airplanes until 90.
Oh, all right. That's
1903,
good
right?
Boy, that would have been very prescient of them.
That would have been
Holy cow,
impressive
wow.
if it happened in 1893, an upside down plane that didn't get invented until 1903.
That's like my favorite bench on the corner of Michler and 11th Street. There's a bench there that somebody adorned with a little bit that says, if you believe in time travel, meet me here last Wednesday. I love that.
That's beautiful.
It's so clever. It's so clever.
So beautiful. It's almost as beautiful as this bourbon.
Isn't it nice?
All right.
Nice.
So
it's saintly. So they issue them from a post office, and you can get one sent to you, and then they postmark it first day of issue. So these are all canceled stamps from the post office, and often the post office is in the area or is directly related to what the issue for the stamp is. There's one from Dwight Eisenhower that's in Abilene, Kansas.
If you would, just reach in and just grab something random.
But real quick, look up at the screen.
Okay. What do we got? That's the first commemorative stamp?
Yes.
Who is it?
Ivanhoe?
Columbus.
Huh?
Columbus.
That's Columbus.
Really? That's you, Chris.
A murdering guy.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So
There's another one
Christopher
in that,
Columbus
too.
was the first commemorative stamp in 1893.
Yes.
All right. So we had an Italian who defected to Spain who murdered
Everybody.
thousands of people.
Right.
Yeah. So the one.
Good start, Post Office.
Yeah,
Good start.
yeah. But that
Well,
was.
they weren't politically correct back then.
But there was actually multiple commemorative stamps with like different denominations. So the one I just popped up was a $5 one.
Columbus was $5
Yeah, so all them were
in 1893. Impressive.
there was a 1 cent one, a 2 cent, a $1, and a 5 cent I can see, and also 5 cents. But all of them have Columbus somewhere on it.
Oh, okay. All right. Lenny, I'm going to tell you this. You gave me the most boring one you've had in the entire packet, but it's okay. This one is a season greetings from 1964, first day of issue from Bethlehem,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. So it's a Christmas one
Christmas
from
one.
Bethlehem.
Right.
All right. On the backside, it is honoring Stuart Davis in fine arts. Do you know who Stuart Davis is? I do not know who
I
Stuart
do
Davis is.
not.
So
I had a friend in Long Beach named Stu Davis.
and it's a 5-cent stamp, and both sides are from 1964, and they're both 5-cent stamps.
Okay.
All right, what do you got next?
Well, this is the women was 48 and 3 cents. Youth month. Nah.
Yeah, we already did that one.
Right. Well, here's a pretty one for you.
Pretty one. Here, let's see if we can show it. Oh, that's nice. It's a nice mosaic. All right, so this is a United Nations one by Mark Chagall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it's called the Chagall Window, and it's for the United Nations. It's not showing the value of the stamp, but it's from It's November 17th, 1967. And Blake, which one am I on? Am I on this camera right there?
And that's almost a plate block. So when you
Yeah.
get a sheet of stamps, there's a number on the bottom of it. And, the post office got smart with commemoratives later on, not in 1893, but people collect these.
Mm-hmm.
And, they've got a value to them. But if people aren't putting on an envelope and sending it out, then the post office gets paid for the stamp and they never have to, cash it in, so to speak.
All right, so on the backside is way more interesting.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the backside. All right.
I may have, but I don't remember which one it
It
was.
is the inauguration day of our 37th president. All right. Do you have any idea who our 37th president is? I automatically know who our 35th president is because he was.
It's Nixon.
Yeah, so Nixon's
Yeah,
our 37th president. So it's January 20th, 1969. All right, and it's stamped Washington, D.C., stamped Inauguration Day, and it has 2 3-cent stamps on it. But it's a very cool, it's actually, if Tricky Dick looked this good in the 1960 debates, he might have beat Kennedy.
Right.
So...
well, that's what I'm fascinated about is because you look at I've got some of these that have
you guys can't really see
2
that.
and 3 cent denomination, then they go up to 4 cents, 5 cents as they get later into the 60s and 70s. The denomination goes up, and I get a kick out of it because now we have forever stamps.
Yeah.
So you could have bought forever stamps when they first came out, and they were probably, I don't know, were they 36 cents if I remember
Yeah, something
correctly?
like that. Now they're 63.
No, now they're 68.
Woo!
It was 66 all last year. January 21st of 2024, they jumped another 2 cents to 68 cents for a first-class postage stamp.
I didn't even know. I rarely do actual
Snail mail.
But I have a book of Peanuts stamps
Sure.
sitting on my desk, and Maeve was sitting on my lap the other day, and she goes, "Why are there little kids on your desk?" She saw the characters. She saw like Pigpen and Linus and Schroeder and Lucy and all them on my desk, and I have that book of stamps sitting on my desk, and I had to explain to her who Peanuts was.
Ooh, that'll give her some good reading going forward.
No, it'll be a beautiful learning moment when she learns Peanuts. But she didn't even understand what a stamp was. But
Right.
it's not a part of her norm. It's like Blake. I remember Blake when he was 8 or 9 years old. I told him to roll up the window, and he was looking for the button. And we were in my nephew's truck. All the cars that Blake's ever grown up in had automatic windows.
Wow.
He had never rolled up a window until he was like 10 years old, and we were in your Uncle Anthony's car. And he was like, "What?" He thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
A little manual labor. Good
Yeah,
for you.
He thought it was so cool. So I mean, there's just certain things that are completely gone
Right.
in our society.
Right.
We still say roll up your window, but there's no rolling involved.
No,
It should just be put up your window.
exactly.
So.
And I miss the little vent windows too.
Oh yeah,
Those
oh,
are good.
Yeah.
You can get
Yeah.
the airflow. You can make noise. You could have the car move to the left like a canoe.
Blake, you have any idea what we're talking about with the airflow?
Like the little flaps on like on the outside that you can open up.
There was a little triangle window.
Yeah.
There was a little triangle window that was at the front side of your window. Okay? And what you do is you'd kind of push it halfway open and it would create a breeze.
Right.
And that was your AC.
Pre-air conditioning for sure.
That was your AC,
For sure,
air
yeah.
currents.
Yes,
So
exactly.
That's what AC was
Yep.
when I was growing up. I had air currents. So, all right, I want to talk about some of the stuff I got
Sure,
over here.
please.
I want to talk about the U.S. Postal Service. All right, just a quick talk about it for the next 19 minutes.
Okay. We're good.
I have notes.
Okay.
People don't think I do homework. See, I have notes. I'm not going to read it, but I have notes. I'm going to put them right there. All right. So the first idea of the U.S. Postal Service was started by,
Well, Benjamin Franklin.
yes,
But he learned that over in England.
yes,
And it started with the Dutch East India Company, founded in India, were some of the first postal people. So, yeah.
yeah. So he picked it up
Yep.
with his travels in Europe and stuff like that. But in 1775,
I believe he was actually, excuse me one second, I'm sorry. I think he actually might have been a postal clerk or a postal worker in England at one point in time as well.
well, I don't know. I didn't see that, but it makes sense that he might have been.
Well, maybe
but he
Michael
also
Douglas will tell me.
gave us our libraries.
Yes.
Ben Franklin was a scoundrel, but he accomplished a lot of things.
Well, I'm looking forward to there's an Apple TV show that's starting up now. It's imminent of Michael Douglas doing a biopic of Benjamin Franklin. It's serialized, so it's episodic, but it's Michael Douglas doing Benjamin Franklin. It's going to take a little while to get past that it's Michael Douglas, but I mean he's a very good actor. Don't misconstrue my intention, but he doesn't look like what I think of Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, makeup does a lot of things, and we
you'd be surprised.
really don't know. We really don't know exactly what Ben.
Hey, I saw 1776, the movie and the show.
So you got an idea.
He looks like Howard Da Silva for crying out loud.
All right. So I can tell you this: Giamatti.
Giamatti, yeah, Paul Giamatti,
Yeah, he's John Adams for me the rest of my life.
Yep.
So just it's like next time I imagine anything, Giamatti's John Adams.
Also talented. So the holdovers, and I just watched a movie on the plane coming back from New York this weekend, and it's called Gunpowder Milkshake. If you don't mind violence, it's a fun movie. Very, very feminist, woman strong, but he was in that too.
All right,
Not a good guy.
U.S. Postal Service. So our
1775.
very first postmaster was Benjamin Franklin in 1775. It came out of the Continental Congress in Philadelphia in 1775. Do you know who our postmaster general is today?
Yes, I do, unfortunately, and I don't know why he is still there. Louis DeJoy.
Louis DeJoy is our postmaster, and he's the first person who did not rise through the ranks.
Right. He was a political appointee. He had nothing to do
he
with the
was
post
a political
office.
appointee by Trump.
Right.
He came from the business world.
Tried to break the post office too.
Well, here's the thing people need to really get a concept of. Government and business. Everyone says, "Oh, government needs to run more like business. Government needs to run like." You hear like government needs to run. No, it's never going to work.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. It purposely doesn't work like that because if government ran like business, there are a lot of failures in business.
Yes, sir.
There are more failures in business
Certainly by people who want to become the government, as a matter of fact.
than there are successes in business.
Right.
I've been very fortunate. Like if you have one success to every 5 failures, you did really well in business. And that's about my percentage. I'm average.
You're about 20%? Okay.
Yeah, I'm average on like my ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I got this.
man.
I've gotten better over time.
Right. Okay.
Where like I understand business plans and stuff like that, and I calculate and I go, okay, this is going to work, this isn't going to work, and I've gotten better, and that's why I'm a much better consultant than I am
Right.
now than I would have been when I was 30. But we don't want government to run like business. It will not work for us because business changes too quickly for the public to accept.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm not saying that as a negative. I think our country is built on private-owned small businessmen that become bigger businessmen, but government doesn't work like business. Is where I'm trying to go with this. Louis DeJoy.
Right.
All right, revenues last year for the U.S. Postal Service was $79.32 billion. All right, huge number. Huge number. The net income for 2023 for the U.S. Postal Service, all right, revenue $79.32 billion. Net income negative $6.48 billion. Now we talk about Trump being such a huge billionaire. That is 2 times his worth that we just lost in 1 year. In 1 year with the U.S. Postal Service.
With his appointed postmaster at the
With
helm.
his guy who said we should run things like a business.
And you know how much Louis DeJoy gets paid for this failing business?
Oh, I bet it's over $1 million.
No, it's only 300 and some odd thousand
The
dollars.
job's not worth it.
He gets
I can tell you right now.
He gets $300K.
If he doesn't
plus.
get over $1 million, job's not worth it.
No, he's somewhere.
He
in
was
the
making
mid-300s.
way more money in the private sector.
Hope he was better doing that than he is doing the post office.
He was. I guarantee he was. So, but it's crazy. They have over 235,000 vehicles. All right.
Yeah.
All right. The gas bill alone, the fuel bill for the U.S. Postal Service, and this goes back to 2009. I couldn't get a more recent number.
It's still.
All right. The fuel bill for 2009 was $444 million. All right.
And that's a commodity that fluctuates. So you really you have a budget and you plan on what your fuel costs are going to be, and then you get a wacky thing that happens, and all of a sudden the price of gas goes through the roof.
Yeah. So it's absolutely crazy. It says the fleet is notable in that many of its vehicles are right-hand drive, and the arrangement intended to give drivers the easiest access to roadside mailbox. So they have more right-hand drive vehicles than anyone else in the United States.
Right. We can sell them all to England and make a good profit.
Yeah. Turn them into like tiny houses. It'll solve our homeless problem.
Exactly.
All right.
And they can be like mobile homes.
All right. Here's something I did not realize. All right. Standard, and I have to look. I just read this today.
Right.
All right. And I haven't seen a postal truck since then. Standard postal owned vehicles do not have a license plate.
Interesting. Now I'm going to have to look tomorrow.
Do you ever think of that?
No.
I didn't even think of that.
No.
These vehicles are identified by a 7-digit number displayed on the front and rear.
Okay.
But they don't have a I never noticed. Even like federal government cars have license plates.
Yeah,
You say
exactly.
Government,
Police cars,
U.S.
yeah,
government,
everything,
or state of
Yeah.
Florida, or St. John's County. They have their own license plate. But I never realized they didn't have a license.
I wonder if they have to go through a vehicle inspection. Not in Florida, but in other states
Not in
that
Florida.
have them. Right.
Yeah,
Which is also silly.
I'm sure. But I think they would have to have their own private.
Well,
I mean,
you
even
know,
with the county, we had our own inspections.
I'm pretty friendly with my mailman, and to hear him talk about the vehicles is not polite.
Pretty sketch.
Yeah. You know.
All right. So, interesting things about the U.S. Postal Service. We started with Ben Franklin,
Right.
and now we have Louis
DeJoy.
DeJoy.
Yeah.
So, and he's only making $300,000 a year.
300 and change. Yeah. It's a little bit more than that, but
It's
yes.
not worth that.
I don't know if it's a tough job, but
Podcasters make way more than that.
really,
Not this one.
I was going to say we need to renegotiate.
We need to
Troy.
get better sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild, the different stuff.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button. We want advertisers.
We need those advertisers.
Call up Mark
All right.
Zuckerberg.
Here we go. This guy is in charge of 635,350 employees. All right. And then he has non-career employees, an additional 118,600 personnel. So he's only making 300,000. He has over 750,000 employees.
Now, in the private sector, he'd be making
Not taking that job.
multi-millions.
I'm not taking that job. I'm telling you right now.
And, unless they've rectified it, but for the longest time, and this goes back when just before he started and just after he started, and I'm not putting this on Louis DeJoy, but the pension system for the postal workers was in a hole. I mean, they were trying to figure out, government had to step in and kind of do a bailout type of thing for that. So the postal workers pension system, I believe, is I don't know if it's as perilous as it is now as it was 5 or 6 years ago, but boy, their retirement and their pension system was in serious. Their insurance things like that, the whole thing, the whole back office sort of stuff. That the benefit part of it is,
and it's not
problematic.
It's not his fault. The email.
No. I'm not saying that.
Email has hurt.
Right.
I mean, we're not picking on him. We are picking on him.
Well,
we're
just
not
a little
picking
bit,
on him.
but yeah.
I mean, but it's not your job's not worth what you're getting paid. You need to be paid
Right,
more.
and it's all not your fault, sir.
Yeah. All right. Here's one of the biggest things in the mail service. All right. First class mail volume peaked in 2001
Okay.
at 103.65 billion
Pieces of mail.
pieces of mail. In 2020, it was down to 52.62, half. All right, 52.62 billion in 2020. In 19 years, it went to half, and it has.
And they've
everything
raised
to
the
do.
postage rates, but it still hasn't covered.
No, it's not covering the gap.
Made up, right? Not in the
It's
least.
not covering the gap. I mean, it's a six. There's no business in the world that survives that loses $6 billion a year annually.
I think we're undercharging Amazon, which uses the postal service as their bitch, which is great for those of us who use Amazon and everybody who gets stuff at home. But they really need to renegotiate or charge them more, force Amazon to do it on their own. Because I don't know if the postal service would be able to become a little bit more lean if they're not doing Amazon's bidding, and they can. And I'm not looking for people to lose jobs, but you could attrit out and things of that nature. But from everything I'm understanding, Amazon had a sweetheart deal with the U.S. Postal Service for the longest time.
Well, and the thing is this decline started really hard during Obama.
Okay.
All right. Trump tried to do a reorganization. He brought in
With Louis
DeJoy.
DG.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
Right.
Biden in 2022 brought in a whole nother postal act in place. So we've had 3 presidents that have taken a shot at it, and none of them worked.
See, this is where you need some retired, successful business person to come in and do it like, what is it? It's not junior achievement. What's the other end of it? Where you have retired business people come in and they coach you and they consult for you. That's what we need. A couple of those guys to come in and try to shake up the Postal Service and see what's going on.
Well, and here's the funny thing is the Postal Service will not have as bad a year this year as they did last year.
Because?
Think about it.
Oh, election mailing.
Election.
There you go. Absolutely.
There's so much money
Right.
tied up in elections.
Right.
Like radio stations and TV stations
Right.
make so much more money
Right.
during election years than what they do any other time.
Yeah, they knocked the personal injury lawyers off of the screens for a couple of minutes.
Yes, they take them out,
Right.
and all of a sudden elections comes to the forefront.
Right. But it depends on which state you're in. Because if your state's not in play, major parties aren't spending money there unless there's a tight race or
Presidential
something.
elections are always
Money is so tight these days.
no,
that,
the PACs aren't tight.
The PACs aren't, but I mean, there's the Democrats are now claiming that Florida is in play because of abortion and marijuana.
It's not.
And, everybody's getting all excited about this. I think
It's
they're
not
getting a
in
little
play.
too excited about
Yeah,
it.
we're
But-
red now.
Well, it was also whether or not they're trying to goad the Republicans into spending money to defend Florida and make them use their limited resources in Florida, whereas the Democrats are flush. So we'll see what happens.
It's not at play.
Yeah.
Do you believe as a Democrat you're a strong Democrat?
I am.
I'm more of a libertarian, and I float between side to side.
Right.
I became a Republican out of necessity to be in St. Augustine. But do you believe
to get a county job?
No, because it benefited my family the best.
Okay.
So-
In what way? I mean, because of the policies
because
and
of the policy,
okay.
because of the policies and the taxations in those situations.
Okay.
At the time when I became a high earner,
Right.
I was one of those horrible 1%ers.
Oh.
You know, but when I started
ritzy.
when I started helping people,
Right. Well, there you go. Right.
when I started truly making a difference, you
Right.
know when it was? When I became one of those horrible 1%ers.
Well,
You know, and at that point, it was more beneficial to my family to be a Republican. Blake's still a Democrat because he should be a Democrat. All right. So
You have needs, young man.
the rule to me is, and this is the rule, and you're not going to like this statement. The rule to me is, if you're 20 and you're not a Democrat, you don't have a heart. Okay. If you're 40 and you're not a Republican, you don't have a brain. So, because at that point, it becomes more beneficial to your family. And to me, that was the number one criteria of where I was at and how I elected it is how it affected my family first.
But that's how
And
everybody
people are like,
should.
it's a very selfish thing.
Right.
But you know what? If everyone took care of themselves, we wouldn't need government.
Well, that's a long way off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you know,
but we need government because
Right.
not everyone can and will take care of themselves. So
see, where I grew up in Long Beach, which was a huge Democratic community, if you weren't a Democrat, you weren't getting a city job, you weren't becoming a firefighter, a policeman, anything like that. In the town of Hempstead, which is basically everything other than Glen Cove, the two cities in Nassau County were both Democratic, Glen Cove and Long Beach. Nassau County, and by extension, the town of Hempstead, which is, I think, the largest township in the country, quite possibly. If you aren't a Republican, they weren't answering your phone call. They weren't. You needed to. Plus, when D'Amato was in government in the town of Hempstead, there was this whole big pay-to-play type of thing, whereas if you didn't give 1% of your paycheck to the Republican Party in the town of Hempstead, man, oh man, you are frowned upon.
Wasn't
And that
George
became-
wasn't George Santos a Staten Island representative?
No, he was actually in Glen Cove for 20 minutes. They gerrymandered the district, and now he's dancing around. He wants to be on the East End, and I don't know how long that's going to fly because he's prancing out in Suffolk County now with his feathered boa and his fictions. He wants to fight against, I forget who's out there. I don't know if it's Lolota or whatever, but the district, Congressional District 1 is the East End of Long Island in Suffolk County. And he's thrown his hat in, and he is a third party. He wants to primary the Republican. And basically, you know, people are laughing.
Yeah.
You don't stand a chance.
Yeah, but we'll say, but definitely think Florida's definitely like much more red, but still definitely think the two amendments that are going to be on the ballot are going to be passed.
Which one are
should
we talking
bring
about?
people-
You're talking about the weed amendment?
Both
And
of them.
abortion.
Okay.
Both-
The weed and abortion amendment.
So both of them will get passed, but Donald Trump will win the state.
Well, it's interesting to see if there's going to be
Yeah,
a
I
dichotomy,
agree
or
with you. Trump
if
will
there's
win
going to be
the
a
state.
divergence in those elections. You mean somebody's going to vote for recreational marijuana and legalizing abortion or codifying or protecting abortion in Florida, and vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I think all three of them.
That's
I agree with
just-
Blake.
that's just
100%.
wacky.
I agree with Blake 100%.
I'm
on
not
that
saying there's
statement.
anything wrong with that. I just think that it would be, sort of, how people vote party line and go from top to bottom on either a Democrat or Republican side.
But here,
I don't know that
here's
people
my-
are going to bounce back and forth.
But here's my thought on that. Okay, and I have a conflict because I'm 100% pro-choice. 100% pro-choice.
Up to the woman and her partner.
It's her body.
Right.
It's her decision, her body. I'm there with you. I got you. All right. Not for me to say.
Correct.
All right. So I'm 100% pro-choice on that. All right. I'm also 100% death penalty.
Okay.
Okay. Conflicting views.
Which is
All
no
right.
longer a unanimous vote in Florida now. You can have 8 out of 12 can get you killed.
Yep. No, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
All right. I'm 100% should have recreational marijuana.
Okay.
All right.
Should.
But or should have
Okay.
recreational
Right.
marijuana. I said that wrong. Thank you for correcting. So I'm 100% for
Okay.
that.
Okay.
All right. I'm also, there was used to be, and it's no longer, and thank goodness it's no longer a discussion. 100% gay marriage.
Okay.
I mean, sounds like a ridiculous argument, just 8 years away from that decision. All right, but how ridiculous does it sound?
Well-
that we have to defend gay couples being allowed to be married.
Right.
All right. 8 years ago, I was probably one of the few people that was on public media that defended that in this region. A lot of other regions they did. Thank goodness they did. All right. But I'm also 100%, okay, we are overtaxed in a lot of ways. So I am so conflicted between those battles. And the three things that Blake brought up, I'm not going to vote for Trump,
Right.
but I'm also not going to vote for Biden.
Please don't vote for Kennedy. He's nuts.
Well, you know what?
Vote for Vote for Blake.
No, hold on.
Vote for
Well,
Blake.
yeah, there's a new candidate from Texas that might get my vote.
Yeah. So there's this candidate, a 35-year-old math teacher.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally anyone else.
Right.
Literally
Yeah.
anyone else.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember Brewster's Million.
Oh yeah.
None of the above.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
candidate.
Exactly. Yeah.
This election is such a none of the above election
Right.
that I
See-
just, and you know what? It's easy to say Kennedy's crazy.
Well, he is. I mean,
No. It's easy to make
Yeah,
that statement.
yeah.
But you
He
can
bears it
also
out.
you can also say it about the other two.
oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
at least
I don't know that Biden's crazy. I think Trump's crazy. I think Joe Biden is too old to be playing the game. Unfortunately,
Biden
Bobby Kennedy's-
okay. Here's my statement to you. All right, you're a Democrat. I used to be a Democrat. Here's my
you
statement.
can come
to
back.
You.
They'll forgive you.
No.
Jesus.
I have no problem voting on the other
Right,
side.
right,
I have no problem jumping to the Democrat if I believe in that human being better. Biden's been in politics for how long?
Ever.
Since 71? 72?
Easily.
All right. Name one policy that is going to stick with him that you go,
That was
Joe
Biden.
Biden.
did that?
Joe
Yeah,
Biden
yeah.
gave us this. So we're talking 60
Oh
years.
God! You know what it was?
50 years.
Clarence Trump or Clarence Thomas.
He
I
was
think he was
against Clarence Thomas.
No, I think he was the chairman of the Judicial Committee when he got approved.
Yep. I remember that. So
Yeah.
So Clarence Thomas is his
Oh God,
one
that's a lodestone.
his one great
Where's impeachment when you need it for him?
item.
Interesting though, because just coming back to the point that Blake brought up, and I think it's interesting. I'm going to be intrigued to see how the numbers balance out. If the numbers for approval for or against, either way, if the ballot total for abortion and recreational marijuana, pro and con, totals greater than the ballots for either presidential candidate. Because there's some people people may go to the polls and say, I'm voting yes or no on Amendment 1, I'm voting yes or no on Amendment 2. I think one of them might be Amendment 4, be that as it may, and not vote for president. I think you're going to see a lot of people not vote for president.
You're going to see a lot of non-votes.
Correct.
So it'll be interesting to see. And I agree with that. And I might still be one of those non-votes.
Look, back in the day when you used to go into the polling booth and pull the curtain, and people would look at me and confused. I said, look, I don't care if you vote for somebody, if you don't vote for somebody, but you need to vote. And by that I mean you sign your name in the book, you go to the polls, you pull that curtain. You don't have to pull a damn lever. Push the curtain back. You're now a continued registered voter. You have shown up at the polls, and it doesn't matter. If you don't find anybody that is worthy of your vote, don't give them one. Whether it's anybody, Republican, Democrat, Independent. Look, until I got into government, in Long Beach again, I wouldn't have been appointed to the Architectural Review Board, hence the zoning board. Ran for city, put on the city council, ran for city council, ran the government for a couple years. I was a registered independent until I had to change my registration to be a Democrat. And the other thing is the primaries. If you want to vote in a primary, you have to be affiliated with a party in most states.
And we totally went off of where we're at with the Postal, but that's okay. That's why it's called Talks and Tangents,
Right.
and we're there.
But
a lot of people don't understand, and this is one of the things that I struggle with the most because I'm involved in so many local with the projects I do,
Social and humanistic.
and the relationships I have. People truly don't understand. The person that's president has less to do with your day-to-day life
Absolutely
than the
correct.
person that's your county commissioner
Correct.
and the person that's your city commissioner.
Correct. Well,
And people truly do not understand that. A lot of people are going to know who their president is. Mm-hmm. I would say 40%. Again, and we have 7 to 10 people watching right now. All right.
Thank you.
A lot of them won't know who represents them in their county district.
Right.
All right. And yours and mine's Henry Dean.
Okay.
Henry Dean's our guy. A lot of people that I just said that to, I would challenge whether or not they know who their representative is in their own county.
Right.
And these are the people that set your millage,
Right.
and your millage rate sets your ad valorem, which is your property taxes, which is one of the biggest things that hits you individually. All right. Income tax comes later.
Yeah,
That's,
different animal. Right.
All right. It's different animal. We don't have state income tax. So
Correct.
do you know who your state representative is next?
Yeah, it's John Rutherford.
Yeah,
Well, he's my congressman. He's my congressman.
He's our federal congressman.
Is it, Cindy Stevenson?
Cindy Stevenson.
Yeah, okay.
And on the south side of the county is Paul Renner.
Right.
Okay. And your senator for this region is Travis Hudson.
Correct.
All right. A lot of people, that's the first time they've heard their name. All right. And those people have a bigger effect on what they're doing. Your mayor, you live in the city of St. Augustine Beach, is Dylan Rumrow.
Right.
My mayor is Nancy Sykes-Klein.
Correct.
A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
And I can tell you, we go on the street right now, I would say 70% of the people we ask who the vice president is, they might not be able to tell us.
Interesting. But the only thing I want to point out is that they've changed legislation in Florida that troubles me dramatically in the fact that they're eradicating and erasing home rule. Because you said, your city commissioners, your county commissioners are much more involved in effectuating your day-to-day life where you live in your communities. But the state house, DeSantis and the state senate and the state legislature have basically emasculated home rule, which means that you within the city of St. Augustine or the city of St. Augustine Beach can legislate conditions for that geopolitical entity independent of anybody else because you're going to control your locality as you see fit for your population. And the state of Florida says, nah, we're not going to let you do that. We're going to tell you what you do, and you can't do anything about it. Airbnbs, zoning regulations, things of that nature
unfunded,
are an unfunded mandate.
Unfunded mandates are the number one villain of local politics. All right, here I'm going to do a challenge. We only have
sponsors.
We only have 2 minutes left. We're going to hit our sponsors.
How do you get so fast?
I'm going to challenge you and Blake. All right.
Oh, I never win. Okay.
Challenge you and Blake. No, you're going to be a team on this situation.
Nice, Blake. We're golden.
There are five county commissioners. All right.
Okay.
I've already given you Henry Dean as one of them. That's the representative for our county commissioners right now. Ooh. All right. I'm going to challenge you guys to name 3 of the other 4. Well, actually, I'll make it 2 of the other 4.
We got a Whitehurst.
All right. Kristen Whitehurst.
Mr. Waldron passed away.
Mr. Waldron passed away. Blake, you got anybody?
I'm going to say Krista Keating Joseph.
Very good.
Impressive.
I did not see you coming up with that one. That's the representative out of Ponte Vedra. All right.
Okay.
You guys keep going. You guys are doing well. You got 2. I'd see if you can come up with a third. One's a woman, one's a man.
Right. I know there's another woman there, and the other guy, you got me stumped.
All right.
Sarah Arnold.
Huh?
Sarah Arnold.
Oh, you just looked it up, cheater.
No,
You looked it up. And she's a wonderful human being, but you looked it up and you cheated.
Right. Hey.
I know when you cheated, you cheated.
And who's the other gentleman?
Roy Alamo.
Never even heard the name.
Roy Alamo.
Is he relatively
He
recent?
replaced Sid Walden.
Okay,
and he's running for that seat again.
Okay.
And that's going to be a tough race.
Okay.
So, you guys are very in tune with local government.
I'm a political junkie.
Well,
you guys are both very in tune with the political, but it was still a struggle.
I kind of I kind of have to because some of the commissioner stories are part of the show prep for the story.
Exactly. So I mean, even with you two who are very in tune with it, you struggle with it.
Yeah, I don't know. 2 years ago, I could have told you the city commission in St. Augustine. Now I can probably tell you 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
In St. Augustine Beach, I'm sorry. I almost be better off in St. Augustine necessarily, but St. Augustine Beach, I can probably get you 3 out of the 4, 5. Yeah.
I only know two in the city. Nancy Sykes Klein and Cynthia Garris. The 3 are a blur.
Yeah. So you got one that works at Flagler, Blonder. Barbara Blonder. You have Roxanne Horvath, and you have Jim Springfield.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. I should know.
There's
4 women and
4
a man?
women and 1 man.
Good for them.
In the city of St.
I
Augustine.
should have known Springfield.
Go girls, go.
My bad.
Yeah. So
Yes, you should have.
yeah, school district.
Okay.
So
Ladies and gentlemen, scoring at home.
guess what? We got to talk about
Sponsors.
our newest sponsor, Anastasia Miniature Golf. Go see them. It's a wonderful place. They just redid a lot of their holes.
Oh, nice.
And they have beer and wine
beer
there.
and wine is
it's
a big
wonderful,
plug.
wonderful thing. And they have ice cream at the end.
Soft serve or dip.
Loser has to buy. Coquina Coast Realty. Coquina Coast Realty, whether you need commercial or residential, give me a call, 904-669-7901. Kaiser's Deli and Market, wonderful food, great sandwiches, have wonderful breakfast now.
Yep, you need
Kurt,
a charcuterie board, that's the place to go.
when you see Kurt, tell him that Bollox, you heard it on Bollox and you had to stop in.
And get the Bollox. There's a sandwich named after us.
It is a wonderful sandwich.
Tasty.
I know Susan Johnson tried it the other day.
Good.
She said it was yummy. Mike Davis had the Bollox when we were there.
Nice.
All right. St. Augustine Pirate Museum, wonderful people, always participating
Great
in the
gift
community.
shop.
They're always there. Great gift shop. Maeve earned like $5. She wanted to go to the gift shop at the St. Augustine Pirate Museum.
Smart
she got herself.
girl.
So, that a girl. Proud of you. Aber Kresge and Associates, it's tax season. Give them a call.
And hurry.
Yeah, and let them know we sent you. Meehan's Irish Pub. Reggie, wonderful dude. Appreciate you.
Try
3
the key
bars
lime
in
pie.
1. 3 bars in 1. Great food, great bar, great entertainment, and wonderful staff. St. Augustine Distillery and City Gate Spirits. Great tours. Go by, check them out. You're going to leave there. You're going to leave there with something that's going to make you happy. We killed the Saint today.
Right.
You know what? We're out of time. We're 2 minutes over.
Simon Templar is dead.
We have killed the Saint. All right. Thank you guys. Please share the show. Support our sponsors. And thank you, sponsors, for keeping us on the air. This is Bollox Talks and Tangents, and we'll see you next week.